Beliso. Are you living your best life? Welcome to another episode of Success Never Sleeps, sponsored by My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. Dream, get things going for you. Oh, it did it again. That's cool. I'm with you. Hey, you guys. So today is Friday, right? Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast. Welcome to Success Never Sleeps. I am and always will be your host, Brannon Beliso. I want to get things started by thanking my sponsors. We got My Studio. Simply the best in CRM system. Kids love life skills. And LC Accounting. All right. Thank you so much to my sponsors. I'm really looking forward to today's show. We got lots going on. Questions, and more questions. As you come aboard, put your name in the corner, say hello. You say hello. I say goodbye, and you say hello. And remember to share this, because if you share this, what happens if you share this? Guess what? You could win a 30-minute phone call with me, Brannon. That's right. I had a great conversation with James the other day. I had one with a few other people. And I love those discovery sessions. You know, they're really, really powerful. What I love most about discovery sessions for me is they allow us to explore. And that's where the good stuff happens. It doesn't happen on the straight and narrow. It happens out here on the fringes. And that's super fun. And I talked to James yesterday for a while. Was it yesterday, James, or the day before? And it really is about that. You know, I love supporting people and whatever their version of success is. And it's not always going to be the way I want to do things. But I think the art of life for the work I do personally is helping you figure out what you want, right? Because one size does not fit all. And what is success for me may be poison for somebody else. So I want to be really, really mindful of that. And for me, that's very important. So as you come aboard, put in your name, the name of your school where you're tuning in from. And also, please put in that you're here and you've shared it with somebody. Because if you put in the share, then I'll be able to know that you are entered into our contest. Cool. All right. So, you know, I've been working a lot and thinking a lot on my next big pivot and just what life all means for me. And that's really vital. You know, I think to be in tune with your star player is very, very important. Very important. Because if you don't know who you are and why you want to do what you do, then it's easy to get led astray, But I believe for me, it's very important to be mindful on a breath by breath basis. Sometimes it's not even daily. Sometimes I've got to like take one breath in and go, okay, who am I right now? Where am I? You know, what is my purpose here? And even if I'm doing something mundane like cleaning a toilet, I want to be mindful what my purpose is in cleaning that toilet. Cool. Hey, what's happening, Jim? Sensei Mish, Marco. Thank you for sharing that, James. I appreciate it so much. So also put your questions down in the corner. I see more and more people coming aboard. You know, this is being broadcast live at YouTube. So definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel and you can go back and watch these again and again and again and again. Cool? So go ahead. All the people that are coming in live, please put your questions in there because I would appreciate that very, very much. All right, let's take a look at this first question. I'm just wondering, how do you function your business without additional income streams like belt testing, t-shirt of the month, et cetera, et cetera? You know, Joe, that's a really good question. Here's what I'm going to tell you about that, Joe. I think if you make things all inclusive, I know we're one of the higher end month-to-month martial arts schools out there. We charge $209. So a long time ago, we worked in our bell testing fees and everything like that. And we focused on that because the whole perception in our industry that we nickel and dime people. We're always have these built-in retail sales. And we pretty much, what happens is we hold our families prisoner. Oh, you're a yellow belt. Now you need to buy these nunchucks. Oh, you're moving into, this level. Now you have to buy a blue uniform. So we hold them hostage. And if you really spend the time with, I was talking to somebody, I believe it might have been James. James, was it you? Where we talked about he was working for Goodyear, and he went to this guy that had like a big chain of these auto shops, and this guy said, well, if you did ABC, you could generate $2 million more in revenue. And this guy, who was already a multi millionaire, you know what he said? He said, well, that's the wrong conversation to have with me. He goes, well, why, sir? I'm going to increase your bottom line by $2 million a year. He said, no, 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 no. I want you to tell me how I can serve my customers better, how I can make them feel more valuable. Whoa, right? Think about that. So, and I'm a huge advocate of that, right? I've said this, and I haven't said this in a long time. We're busy stepping over a dollar to pick up a penny. Visualize that. Visualize, okay? See that, people. I'm stepping over a dollar to pick up a penny. Think about that. So people, especially in our industry, many of the consultants have some type of retail product tied to them, right? So they want to sell you a product. So here's my service as a consultant, but it's really just a funnel to sell you uniforms. You follow me? Or to sell you a service. Now, I have separate companies too. I have Kids Love Life Skills. I have my consulting, but you'll very seldom see me commingle them. I'm here to serve you today with Success Never Sleeps, as I have for 6 years now. That's what this program is about. When I go to speak on stage, I give you everything. I don't sit there and say, well, here's a little bit. Now, if you want the rest of it, come buy my product. I don't dig that. I've never dig that. I think if you're going to serve people, you give honestly, you give transparent, you give completely, you give fully. Fully. That's what we should be doing. Instead, you're focusing on a t-shirt. You're focusing on a belt testing fee. I totally disagree. Hey, Pamela, what's happening? Conrad, Adam from the UK. I love that you guys are here. Keep saying hello, people. As you come on the board, please say hello. So one more time, Joe, looking at your question, sir, it's just definitely not something we're about. It's more important for us to invest our time and efforts into the relationship, Joe, to invest our time and money into the things that matter most, that can help retention, than we are to live with the perception that we, nickel and dime people, that we are a black belt factory, that we are all about the money and holding people hostage. So I would encourage you, Joe, if you can you rethink that one, sir? Really rethink that one, okay? I would really encourage that. All right? Cool. Let's look at the next one. Stuart, what is your belt system from white to black, and how long does it take in your style? That's a real martial arts question, Stuart. I dig it. So what is your belt system from white to black, and how long does it take in your style? So let me do that one a little differently, Stuart. Let me tell you how I began so you can see the evolution of where we are today. Okay? Hey, what's up, Letitia? Bow. What's up, Bow? Pamela. Okay, so when I grew up in the martial arts, it was pretty much like jujitsu. We earned one belt every 2 years. Okay? Stuart, there was no stripes. There were no merit badges. There was none of that. Okay? 5 belts, 10 years. Right? In my case, it took me 12 years to get a black belt because my papa said to me, when you have the maturity of a man and you can fight a man, guess what? You will be a black belt. Okay. I get that. So I got my brown belt at 7, and I remember my brown belt went down to my knees. And by the time I tested for black belt, I had 2 little nubs sticking out on my brown belt like this because we weren't allowed to change belts. And of course, I grew between the age of 7 to 17. You wouldn't know it looking at me now, but between the ages of 7 and 17, I grew. So, but what I saw with that, there was a meme posted the other day of 2 ladders, and one ladder had all these little rungs, right? And went to this place. This ladder had rungs spread every 10 feet apart, still went to the same place. So, what did I do? I took one belt, 2 years, and I made it 6 belts. Okay? Same amount of curriculum, same amount of material, but what normally would be 1 belt in 2 years now became 6 belts, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? Because we are in a belt in our school every 4 months. So those 5 belts now became 13 belts, roughly. Okay, so now, but understand it. When the day's done, the belt just holds up your pants, Stuart. That's it. That's all that belt freaking does is hold up your pants. That's all it does. But what we need is short-term goals, mid-term goals, long-term goals. Short-term goal, earn a stripe, right? We learn a stripe in 1 week. By the second week, we earn the stripe. That's what we do in our business. Okay, so it's very clear. This week is learning week. This week is earning week. At the end of 3 months, guess what? You have 6 stripes on your belt. After that, we spend 1 month, Stuart, review, makeup stripes, and testing. Because remember, we were running 1,000 people pre-pandemic. Now we're closing in on 800, which is so grateful for. So we spend that 1 month, that fourth month of reviewing and testing out. And then we repeat that cycle 3 times a year. So we go through 3 belts, right? That's year 1, 3 belts, year 2. So we're 12 belts, but then white belt stands alone. That's a belt, so that's 13. And we now have a black belt prep where they spend a whole year reviewing and covering the curriculum so they're best prepared for black belt. So roughly in our school, you spend about 5.5 years. That's doable for me. I don't believe in a 2-year black belt. And it's out there because data has proven the retention of a student is roughly 18 months. 18 months. 18 months. So they realize I have to squeeze as much revenue out of you in 18 months. So that's where that black belt being created. Hey, Virginia. How's it going, Virginia? Did you get the house yet? Put it in there because I know you were getting a house. Did you buy a house, Virginia? Virginia's getting married too. I'm so happy for Virginia, and her school's doing super well, super well, super well. So that's my take on that, Stuart. I think really, like Roland Osborne taught me when I learned rotating curriculum from him 10 years ago, start with black belt and work backwards. What do you want that black belt to look like, Stuart? Right? What self-defense, what martial arts, what fitness, what, all of it. What type of person should they be? What values should they hold? Right? All that's important. All that's important. And once you do that, then you just craft out the curriculum. I remember having that conversation with all right, you got a new house. Good, Virginia, painting the kids' bedroom today. That's so cool. Such a long way, huh? Well, what a difference a couple years makes. So happy for you. I remember our many conversations, Virginia, and I'm just happy for where you're at. Cool. All right. So I remember having that conversation, Stuart, with my instructor, and he's going to me, you know, how come you got all these belts? There's all these belts and all these stripes and these badges and all this stuff. We only had 5 belts growing up. And then my question said, well, if I can say this, I believe the better question is, are you happy with our black belts? Are you happy with our black belts? And he said, yeah, they're good fighters. They're good people. They have great life skills. All of it. All of it. And I said, well, okay, then that's all that matters. Who cares if I make 12 belts? Who cares if I put 6 stripes on every belt? Who cares if I've divided up the curriculum so it's manageable, so we can administer that curriculum to 1,000 people? Well, 800 or so because the rest were kickboxers, right? So think about that. The way most curriculums are set up, and that's why I love working with people on their curriculum, is you can do it. 100 people, I can do that without systems. I can do that without rotating curriculum. That's easy to do. 100, that's easy. Try to do that with 800. Very, very hard. So what we've done is systemized it so well, curriculum videos, everything's written out. Everybody knows what we're teaching, that we were able to move. And this is really shows how powerful and defined and systematic our curriculum is, Stuart. We were able to move from indoor classes to virtual almost seamlessly. Indoor to virtual almost seamlessly. Seamlessly. There you go. So that's the proof in the pudding. And I think what we've seen a lot of people suffer from, Stuart, and not being able to move into the virtual platform is that the curriculum wasn't defined. It wasn't so well defined that people got it and they were able to move it. And that's what we've been able to do. And now as we work on our online presence, because we're going to cultivate that, I believe I want to have a whole school online, a whole virtual school, culturally and everything online. as well as our indoor school, as well as our outdoor school. I believe they're three different cultures and they are united under one martial arts, right? Live your best life. But ultimately, we're going to create three different cultures. And the common thread is this powerful rotating curriculum that my team and I have cultivated and developed over the past 15, 20 years. That's why I love curriculum development. It's so, so cool. So cool. Hey, I see more people watching. As you come aboard, say hello. And I love live questions too. So put those live questions in there. Virginia, you're excited for your Easter event tomorrow? Good for you. You know, we can't even do that here yet. San Francisco, we still don't have indoor classes for kids. And we're just now, only the past week and a half, we're starting indoor classes in Millbrae. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Yep. See, like Letitia's saying, her and Davey love our online classes, and my team's amazing. They're simply freaking amazing. So, everybody, you shared this. Make sure you share this because I'm giving away a 30-minute phone call with me, a 30-minute phone call. Cool. So get that together. Make sure you shared it. Put it there. Tell me that you've shared it. All right, because I want to know that you've shared it. All right. Cool. 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 You know, I recognize, and I share this with people. I just finished a book called Ranges. And one of the great analogies that I think apply to business was, this person had cancer and they had a tumor. Traditionally, they would hit that tumor with a laser, right? And try to shrink it or burn it out. And so they would attack it this way. The problem is when you hit that tumor, it splinters off and it can attack healthy cells. So you know what they said? Okay, we have this tumor. Follow me. Tell me that you're with me. We have this tumor, but what we're going to do is we're going to take a bunch of lasers all around this tumor at 360 degrees. So when we attack it, we shrink it this way. We don't explode it and let it splinter off into healthy tissue. We're going to surround the tumor and we're going to shrink it this way. By attacking it 360 degrees all the way around this tumor equally, not this laser hotter and faster and this laser softer and slower. They calibrated every laser around this tumor at 360 degrees. Now, why is that relevant to business? I'm going to tell you why. Because I believe to truly succeed in business, you need to be great at leadership. You need to be great at writing systems. You need to be great at social media. You need to be great at finances. You need to be great at experience. You need to be great at branding. You need to be great at building culture. You need to be great at staff training. You need to be great at all these things. And I think that's where our industry suffers greatly. And a lot of people do. How many great wealthy sports figures get ripped off blind by their accountant and bad investments because they knew nothing about finances? Lots. Lots do. Lots. How many great martial artists are great on the mat teaching, but never master business? So they die broken, penniless. So I've really learned that in that book, Ranges, about being a generalist. I am a generalist. That old saying, a jack of all trades, a master of none, that's BS. A great example is Tom Brady. He's smart and athletic. Remember the old days when you had the dumb jock and the nerd? It's no longer that way. You've got really smart athletes. Look at Kevin Durant investing his money into tech companies and startups. I mean, you got really smart athletes out there now who know how to manage money well. So learn in your business, if I can encourage that. And that's what I love about my mentoring program and the people that I work with. I'm very passionate about teaching you to be great at every aspect of your business, every aspect, including your mindset, including your body, all of it, all of it. It's already tough enough being a small business owner. Wouldn't you agree? 9 out of 10 small businesses fail in the first year. 7 out of 10 in year 3, 5 out of 10 in year 5. And if you make it past year 10, you're probably going to make it. Wow. So it's really important to stack the deck in your favor. And Michael Gerber says that quite passionately in his book, E-Myth. Read E-Myth if you haven't read it. And he says, there's technicians, and that's where they really suffer. They never move from being a technician to an architect. You need to become an architect in your business. Who's with me on that? Right? I say it many times. The original quote, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but better than a master of one. Thank you, Sensei Mish. Right? Hey, I like that. I didn't know that second part existed. I learned something new. Wow, look at that. And it rhymes. If I was a rapper, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but better than a master of one. I'm a terrible rapper. I don't know if I ever master that. But anyway, so there you go, right? So you need to be that generalist. And I'm able to do that. I know enough about sound systems, technical, all that. And if I don't know, I ask. That's the brilliant thing. I grew up without YouTube. You can have all the access to all these YouTube videos and stuff. You have all this information, yet you're still not successful because you don't know why you're here. You don't know what your purpose is, right? And you don't have a clear set of values that is your foundation that govern your life that you live by. Cool? All right. James, he likes it. So do I. So do I. Pretty cool, Sensei Mish. So really think about that. If you lack anywhere, and as we're coming out of this pandemic, if there's something that you lack in your life, make sure that you take care of that. All right. So I'm big on, I like looking at things when they come across. How can people lock students into how many people lock students into long-term contracts? Can this be beneficial for companies to build retention? All right, let me read that again. How many people lock? That's a bad word to me already, right? Lock. Could you imagine saying that to somebody you're dating? I want to lock you into this relationship. That's a bad day. That's a bad day. So lock you into long-term contracts. Can this be beneficial for companies to build retention? Okay. There was a time in the 80s when Karate Kid came out and was huge. I mean, you could literally handwrite a sign that says Karate School and throw it up. Everybody wanted to be like the Karate Kid. So nobody was going to deny their child that being the Karate Kid. So when it became this phenomena, the Karate Kid back in the 80s, guess what? Like any good salesperson, any good marketing person, they exploited it. They exploited our industry. And the first thing they saw that would work, because, and I'm going to tell you why, this is my hypotheses, my opinion. And opinions like assholes, everybody's got one and they stink. So I'm going to say that because this is just my take. Okay. And you're talking to a person who's done martial arts since 1967. I've seen everything in the martial arts. Ninja Turtles, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Bruce Lee, Kung Fu the series, Green Hornet. I've seen it all. Power Rangers. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. And this is what I think. I think these salespeople and these marketing people saw this business model is weak. It's really weak. There's just a bunch of clubs. These guys work day jobs and they have these dojos in their garage and they're these postage size schools, Think about that. So they said, we need something to stabilize it. So if we can lock people into long-term contracts, what's beneficial, and this is instant retention, if I have you locked into a one-year contract, that's retention. I'm guaranteed you're here for a year. You have to pay me. It does not say in this contract, I have to teach at this level. It does not say in this contract that I must serve you at this level. It does not say in this contract, if you're unhappy, I get a full refund. The contracts don't say that. So that's why I believe contracts were put there. If you look any great company today, they're all subscription-based month to month. Any Apple app you buy, any Microsoft service you buy, they'll say if you want to get a discount and pay a year, you're welcome to, but it always has a month-to-month subscription. You know why? Because they put their money where their mouth is. I love saying to a student and parent when they sign up, all of us, everything we do is a month-to-month subscription because we believe every time you come to class, we want to earn your trust. And if we don't serve you well, then we don't deserve your business. Wow, they look at me like, whoa, powerful, right? So everybody out there that agrees with me that does month-to-month, I want you to come up with your own statement like that because it is. When I'm talking to a client, and parents, and I've been doing that a lot in the past year, now that I'm back in the company working full time, I say that, I say that to them. Think about that for a moment, okay? Imagine if you could say that, right? If you could say to a person, everything we do is a month to month subscription. We don't even have cancellation fees. You want to know why? We don't have cancellation fees because we want to earn your business each and every time you come through that door. That's putting your money where your mouth is, right? Think about that. Keep those questions coming in. I see a lot of people still hanging out there. Say hi. Say hi. We love to know who's part of the tribe. And everybody's invited to be part of this tribe. Cool? Cool, cool, cool. Let me see if there's anything in there. Cool. All right. Okay. Oh, it's the same one. Let me get rid of that. Show this in my stream. And let me. Cool. All right, Jason. Those that have 100 students or more, how do you split your age groups? I know some schools around me do ages 6 to 11 and 12 and up. And most don't offer classes under 6. I also offer high rank classes as well. Just trying to fine tune the age groups, or do you only separate by ranks? Wow. That's a big one, Jason. So I'm going to give you a couple of different takes on that. All right. Okay. We know there's a school of thought, right, which some people love, that works well for them, right? Because different strokes for different folks. We have 3 and 4, I believe it is 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 to 10, and 10 to 12, 11 and older. There's some people that really definitively believe in separating them no more than 2 years, right? No more than 2 years. 3 to 5, different things like that. Why? Because they believe developmentally that a child, there's no way I can have a 7-year-old run with a 12-year-old. There's no freaking way, right? Think about the age difference. That's like putting a second grader with a sixth grader. Can you do that? Okay. So that's one school of thought. Makes sense. Here's another school of thought. You've got that charter school. We have a lot of charter schools out there now. Smaller charter schools where they're running kids. Preschools are roughly anywhere from 3 to 5, right? Right about there. Because a lot of kids don't go to TK, right? That's pre-kindergarten, right? They'll go straight into kindergarten at 5. But in these charter schools, they're running between the ages about 7 and 12. And here's what they've learned in charter schools, right? And Letitia, you could put in what you do in the co-op. What do you guys do in the co-op? What's your age group in the co-ops, Letitia? Put it in there. And what shared learning do they do? Right? I'm sure they're doing different learning because of the ages, but what shared learning, right? Remember, we're not talking about math, algebra versus, a front kick or a 3-move combination. Totally different. If this group's on fraction and percentages and you're learning how to count to 10, that's a different day. I think it's different with the martial arts. Okay. So let me go with the charter school. So what they're learning about that is the older kids, 10 to 12, are more patient, more empathetic, and they develop higher leadership skills when interacting with the younger kids. Over time, they don't bully them, they don't dominate them. They actually are more empathetic. That's pretty cool, right? And the flip side, the yin to the yang, is that 7-year-old, that 8-year-old, and that 9, guess what? They raise their game. They raise their game. They raise their game. They elevate their game. Oh, Letitia says ages are from 1 to 18 in the same classroom, Tish? Come on. I mean, in an actual co-op group. I know it's that wide, but what about when in a learning environment? What's optimal in a co-op? Okay, Tish, put that in there. All right. So with that said, oh, you combine grades too. So there you go. So that's another school of thought. And I'm going to tell you, especially out here in the tech valley, Silicon Valley, and in just the Bay Area in general, we have more PhDs per capita than the whole country. Does that mean we're smarter here? I don't know. Maybe. But they definitely have more knowledge. because they've gone to more school, they've studied more child psychology, et cetera, et cetera. So there's that school of thought, right? So that co-op vibe, that Letitia, third to fifth, wow, third to fifth, 6 to 9, 10 to 12. All right. So roughly 3 years, 3 years, 3 years, right? So there you go. There you go. So I'll tell you what we do. So we've just evolved it 3.5 to 6 years old. And we're thinking of even making that cutoff 5. I like six because it's the middle road. We have 6-year-olds that can roll right into youth karate, which is traditionally 7 to 12-year-olds. But we have 6-year-olds that developmentally need to stay in our Excellent Kids program. So we have an FAQ sheet that says that, hey, if the instructor thinks your child's not engaged, they're bored, we want to move them up and challenge them with youth karate. If you, the parent, thinks they're bored and not engaged, tell us and we'll try out youth karate. So we don't make it a hard line. 3 to 5, 6 on up goes into youth karate. 6 is kind of like this gray area. So again, what is your goal for your child? I want them to be confident. Great. I would recommend they be the big fish in the little pond in our Excellent Kids program. Follow me? And then do, a 12-week cycle of Excellent Kids or a 24-week cycle. Then we'll visit moving them into youth karate. My son had some delayed motor skills, and he's going to have to do martial arts anyways. We kept him in Excellent Kids for 3 years. 3 years. And he's a badass athlete now, and he's a badass black belt. Because that's the other thing I've really learned about life. I'm reading another great book called Originals, and they talk about that. Overnight success. No, they're not. Most people will work with the dynamics of their group and mold and move. And, I'm doing that right now with Kids Love Life Skills. We're retooling it into a subscription-based model. And it's a little slow coming, but you know what? My team has babies. My team has other businesses. But I love the team I'm working with. So I'm willing to give, take, flow. And we're all going through a pandemic. So speed is important. And I've said that before. But being the original in that process is very important. Haste makes waste. You've heard that one. So there's always a yin to the yang. We say, okay, speed, it's about speed. You got to go for it. Figure it out later. Well, that's not always true. Sometimes haste makes waste, right? That's why you measure something twice, cut once. You hastily measure once, cut it, you're wrong. You got to go back to the lumber store and buy more lumber. You feel me? So we want to be mindful of that in this process. So kindergarten, then first and second. Okay, great. Okay. So we're finding the 3 to 5 to about 6 years old is working really well because the new EK program is full parent participation, because through the pandemic, we can't hold pads. Virtually, we would have lost every Excellent Kid if they were just had to do class virtually. The fact that Excellent Kids is done with the parent, it's a new day. It's a new day. So I don't think there's a right or wrong there, sir. You have to figure out, first of all, Jason, what works for your culture? What is it you're cultivating? I like this co-op, call it a California kumbaya thinking. I love original. I love disruptive. I love innovative. I'm not fall in line, sheep being led to slaughter, do things exactly like this. But the one thing I've learned about that, when you've got all these really strong individuals, they have to be united by values. We're all big kids. We should play together well. And in Good to Great by Jim Collins, he really talks about that. You've got all these dynamic thinkers, man. All these dynamic thinkers. If everyone's being dynamic and doing this, what helps them do this? You shared values, purpose, live your best life, right? That goal, that common goal. And the average tenure in my business so far is 10 years. The average employee has been with me 10 years. But I'll tell you, that person who's been here 10 years gets it. They get our why. They get our purpose. They get what we do. That's very clear. Those who don't, they leave. They leave because it's a very, very tight-knit group who guard the purpose. And that's a trip, and it's not that extreme, but I'm going to tell you. The extreme, I watched this documentary on Heaven's Gate. That's the weirdest freaking thing. Cult, that's some weird shit. Everybody, they didn't want gender. So everybody cut their hair and they all looked like little boys. It was weird. And they all wore the same clothes. So they weren't gender specific. And then they believed a UFO was going to come down and pick them up and take them to heaven. And then they all did that mass suicide. That's weird. That's crazy, to be brainwashed like that. And they all had different names: Lidu, Midu, Kidu, all this. But then as you look at it, that's cultish behavior. Cult says, first of all, strip you of your identity. 2, give you a new name. 3, control you. Those 3 things happen. And that's scary. What I witness out here being in Silicon Valley, and just I invest in certain startups, is that this dynamic thinking, it's fun. We're like a bunch of kids on a playground playing. And then you want to play this game, we do this game. Oh, now you want to lead the game? Let's follow your game. But the one common thread is the balance and peace and harmony of the values. You watch kids, we all want to get along, we want to have fun, common values. So that's the big thing here that I'm going to share with you, is that when you're deciding your age groups, that's really it. That's really it. And if I felt this 6-year-old who's sitting in the middle was not contributing to that 3.5 to 5-year-old group, I'd bump them up into 6 years old. And if that 12-year-old, we got a couple of 12-year-olds on the cusp that are really mature, we throw them into the teen and adult class. See, the hard, fast rule is the problem, because there's that sense of individual. But the yin to the yang is you must have certain hard, fast systems in order to keep the ship tight and right. Everybody with me on that? Raise your hand if you're with me on that. Put it in there. Pandemic is an opportunity to grow and change. 400%. Yeah. Me and James talked about that. And this is a beautiful thing. I want to applaud James for that. He went down to 30 students in this pandemic. He's back up to 112. That's almost a 400% growth rate. But James and I, we had a call. I'm not your consultant. Somebody said to me, I'm not your consultant. I'm not your mentor. I'm your friend and I'm your partner. Be very clear on that, right? Be very clear on that. So me and James were talking, and the fact that he's gone from 30 students in a pandemic to 112, that's 1 year. So almost a 400% growth rate, right? If it was 120. So potentially, if he did a 400% growth rate in the next year, he's going to be up around 500 students. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. But because James is shifting his mindset, and I hope you don't mind, James, he's shifting his mindset. He's writing systems. He's cultivating a team. He's doing all these new things that he's never really did completely in its totality. His school is growing. Jason's school is growing. Marco is growing. Virginia's off the hook because they all take full ownership. Because I taught them to fish. They knew how to fish before. I just taught them to fish differently, right? I taught them to fish differently. Hey, what's up, Jeremy? Lockdown closed me down, but I'm rebranding and trying again. But I struggle to change. We all do. That's why, the event that I'm doing in November will be what? It will be It's Time Life Change. I really believe change is what it's all about. It really is, And if I have that ability to change, if I have that ability to grow, then it's off the hook. So think about that. I'm very transparent. We have 3 people signed up out of the 20 for the 4-day experience. And hotels are really cheap, right, Letitia? We've got Sensei Mish found it for $60. Sensei Mish, you're brilliant. But it's normally almost $200 a night. Come here, spend the time. I think we all need it. We really, really need it. That time, that 4-day retreat, I need it. And I know you do too. And one of the unique things is we have Sam on coming, you guys. Sam is my friend. Sam is one of my financial partners who's really schooled me on understanding that you don't need multiple schools to be financially secure. He is a single school owner with 100 students, and he is a multi-millionaire. That's a fact. And that's my school of thought. I want to build these schools for my team to create an amazing life for them. Beyond that, Brannon Beliso wants to consult. Brannon Beliso wants to change the world. And so a lot of what I'm creating now, passive income, is all with startups and my stock investments. And that works for me. That works for me because my group is tight knit and I want to love them and take care of them, which I do very well. And I want to continue that path. So I'm going to encourage you to join me. Please join me for It's Time Live. Change. Get signed up. And now we have Sam coming, and Sam's only for the 4-day people. And we might let him in on the 2-day. And somebody asked me if we're going to live stream this event. I don't know yet. You know, I'm really on the fence about that. I'm really on the fence to that. I'm thinking about one side of me wants to create this intimate experience, no social media present, no cameras, none of it, and just really do what I do in a unique, intimate way, and really offer that. Or, you know, we'll utilize that as well. We'll take a look. Maximum martial arts. Boom. Back to pre-COVID numbers. I love hearing that because we're still a ways off here in California, and I love hearing those stories because it makes me hopeful. We all need hope. We were talking about the other night having hope, and hope is powerful. I want hope, and when I see people who are wide open doing well, ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. We have waiting lists for our EK classes in San Francisco outdoors. That's a trip, right? And already indoors, our beginning classes, I had 6 new beginners yesterday in the beginner class. Six. And EK, our Excellent Kids class, I don't know. I think 2 weeks ago, we signed up like 12 students in 1 week. And we don't really have indoor classes yet because we've created new businesses, right? It's cool. Adam Parker, Jeremy, by UK Buddy. I've worked with Jeremy a lot over this pandemic. I can't wait for Jeremy to relaunch. I love it. I love the buddy ups. Jeremy, are you in the UK too? I don't think I ever knew that. James Walker, sir, is there going to be anything before or after the 4-day event? I was thinking about before, after the 4-day. Yeah, well, people come in and they see San Francisco, sir. They come in and watch my classes. And you know me, if anybody knows me, you show up early to It's Time Live, you're going to get a dinner out of me. Did I say that, Letitia? She's going to, hey, you spend too much money on dinners. She says too, I spend, but yeah, that happens, James. People will show up Wednesday or Thursday before the event. All of a sudden they're having dinner with Brannon one-on-one. Shh, did I say that? Did I say that? Shh. And then after, it's not uncommon. Once the event's over, you'll see me posting. I'm at the beach with Andre and a couple of other people just chilling. I love that. I love that about what I get to do. And if somebody takes extra time to come out like that before and after, what can I say? What can I say? That's just me. That's just me. So James, maybe. Yeah, well, James, right? James says, I think people might be more open and honest without cameras. None of us can help it, sir. It's such a dynamic, intimate learning experience. I don't even know there's a camera there. I don't even know there's a camera here now, sir. I'm talking to you. I mean, that's just the way I roll. So I've always had cameras on me though, since I was a little kid, right? And it doesn't stop being transparent. My ability to connect and engage with you is what life is about. Yeah. Yep. But maybe we will, because maybe the statement I want to make is, you know what? A real retreat, and I've been on 4-day retreats, there's no cameras. Maybe we'll just broadcast the Sunday event like we always do. That's what we normally do, gentlemen. And then we'll have a couple people documenting so we could use the footage later. But the only time we have a full-on stream is Sunday, the business, the 8 hours of the business track. But the Saturday, when Sam's here for those 3 hours, I may not do that. It may just be for the people that are here for the 4 days. And then, of course, the Monday, Tuesday is never streamed live. Never, never. So there's a lot of intimate time, James. And the one-on-ones I do with people, the conversations, it's not a live stream. The only thing we always live stream is Sunday. That's it. That's it. Letitia's going, man. Yeah, for maximum martial arts, one of the things I came up with, and I'll share this, is the one time per week. One time per week. First thing people said to me, that's blasphemous. You cannot learn martial arts training once a week. I said, in the words of Hanshi Kovar, a little bit of something is better than a whole lot of nothing. And my kids were going to swimming once a week, soccer once a week, gymnastics once a week. So I recognized that format was very acceptable for parents. Just like one time my kids had to do a makeup swimming class. I'm sitting there on a Sunday night at 7 o'clock at this swimming school going, man, there's a lot of freaking people here. So then we saw people train on the weekend. So we went to 7 days a week. Pre pandemic, we were open 7 days a week, including Sundays, folks. Right? We don't stress the team out. We have two different shifts, right? People work maybe Monday through Thursday. The other group overlaps Wednesday through Sunday. But we try not to work everybody. So that's a big thing. Someone said, I'm not going to be open on Sundays. It's church day. Well, I don't work on Sundays myself. I'm not going to work because it's going to burn the team out. Hire more team. I think it's just excuses. But the challenge with the one time per week, somebody said, well, what do you do if somebody spars? Real simple. Monday curriculum, if you're a twice a week student. Wednesday, your B day sparring. So you're only doing 1 day of curriculum. The person who's once a week doesn't spar. He comes Monday, 1 day of curriculum. He comes the following Monday, test out and earn your stripe. But you can't earn a black belt in our school without sparring. So eventually you have to move to twice a week and spar. Does that make sense? Yeah, there was a point where we tried to do a once a week student sparring and it sucked because they'd come the first week, do all curriculum. They'd come the second week with sparring gear on and try to drill and earn their stripe. And then we would half-ass 20 minutes of sparring at the end. Horrible, horrible, horrible. So we evolved to once a week students don't spar. You want to spar? Upgrade to twice a week. Okay. So yeah, once a week is brilliant, but that might be a little more tip for you there. Jeremy, how do you say that? Gloucester? Is that correct? Gloucester? So we got two people here from the UK. All right. Jeremy and Adam. I love it. I love it. Adam, I got the hotel booked, but need to sort out the flights, followed by a trip to Southern California for a second week and get that 4 day ticket. Awesome, sir. And the best thing is you don't have to close it. We can keep teaching via Zoom. That's the big thing we've gained with Zoom. Our people don't put their memberships on hold during the summer. They now just take their lessons from wherever they're at. Our private lessons did not stop last summer. Our group memberships did not stop. People just simply continued with virtual. So that's the big plus. I think you're going to find if you maintain your virtual programs, all your private lessons, they love to train when they're on vacation, right? So they don't get lazy and fat just eating and laying by the pool. So it's brilliant. It's been a huge one for us. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I researched it as well. Good. Maximum martial arts. Thank you. Don't listen to Brannon Beliso. Do your own research. Thank you, sir. Gymnastics, dance, high-end fitness facilities, Orange Theory, Cycle Fit Nation, all offer one class per week, as well as more options. It works. And I've been doing once a week for probably a decade now. A decade. But see, that's where my head lives. You're going to tell me, well, the only way you can do it was contracts. I'm going to go, why? Is there a better way? Or even better, I think that's a bad word. Is there another way? And that other way I'm always searching for is based upon serving my clients and team at a higher level. Make sense? It should. It should. And I never just personally see when you go back to the whole values thing, I don't like contracts. I'm a parent. You are not locking my 9-year-old into a contract. It would never happen. I've never, ever, ever signed a contract locking my kid into 1 year of anything. Never. Never will. Never have. Never have. Never will. Yeah, I never will. Yeah, it's that simple. Put your questions in. I love your questions. I love all the feedback on the right-hand corner. You guys rock. You guys rock. You guys rock. So just take a quick commercial break. I want to thank my sponsors, My Studio, the app. Look at their updates. If anyone is part of the My Studio page, they're coming out faster and faster and faster. Because I get it. Great software should always have updates. Look at your freaking phone. How often is your phone getting update? All the freaking time. All the time. Kids love life skills. More and more people are coming aboard. If you are not teaching life skills, you are missing the boat. I'm even seeing the evolution of other schools now. They don't even call themselves martial arts schools. They're calling themselves Life Skills Academy. For me personally, that's very, very short sighted. And I'm going to tell you why. That's very short sighted because it misses the Miyagi, the je ne sais quoi, the discipline of martial arts. And when you overshadow the martial arts strictly with, we are a Life Skills Academy, well, you could be, freaking making baskets. You could be doing anything. The minute you're a martial arts and life skills school, it's a different day. So I'm going to encourage, based upon my own personal opinion and my personal research from working with different schools on life skills and creating Kids Love Life Skills and owning it for 10 years, I would never tell a school to call themselves a Kids Love Life Skill. That's it. No freaking way. I would say one martial arts partners with Kids Love Life Skills. I would do some co-branding with them, but Kids Love Life Skills would never overshadow one martial arts. Never. You walk into one martial arts, you'll see Kids Love Life Skills over the display case. You'll see it in the corner of our student parent discovery sheets, but you would never see a logo for Kids Love Life Skills as big as one martial arts. No freaking way. It confuses the brand. It simply does. We have a Kentucky Fried Chicken across the street, and you'll see that. Who's ever seen KFC and Taco Bell mixed together? Or KFC and A&W. They tried that experiment. Didn't work. Didn't work. They're two iconic brands trying to live in one house. It's like weird. It doesn't work. It's the same thing here. Everybody understands who One Martial Arts is. If I co-brand, they sit in the corner. Look at my sponsors. They get a plug, but you don't see anything other than, success never sleeps up in the corner, right? It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So think about that. James, how do you charge for the 1 day a week versus 2 days a week? Well, we don't have unlimited. Unlimited, I found when we did that, we were a babysitter. Those unlimited kids are showing up early, hanging out, and they're going to burn out. Plus, I think it misses the one of the big principles of martial arts is we want to encourage you to practice. Practice, you have to have that. That ethic of practicing is powerful. It's powerful. So, and you always want to keep them hungry, right? You want to keep them hungry, coming back for more, eager to get to the next class. That's why we don't end the class with a lecture. We end the class with a fun game like dodgeball. So you have that lasting impression, wow, I want to come back and play dodgeball again. You feel me? So we charge for 1 time a week, James, $169 a month. Twice a week, $209. Somebody said, why don't you charge double? Well, double that. $338. I mean, no, what's 209? 169, 169 is 338, right? 338. I'm tired. 338. 169, 169. Okay, got it. 338. So, anyways, what we wanted to say is we really want you coming twice a week. 209 is pretty good dollar. I mean, think about that. 209 is up there. Right? It's up there. And it's not bells and whistles, additional workshops and all that stuff. 209 is twice a week. So if you're looking at it 169 once a week, 209 twice a week. Plus, I look at mat space out there, James, like real estate. I have 20 spots on the floor. I don't want to be selling this spot at $10 a class, this spot at $30 a class. I would like every spot on that floor to be about $25, $30 a spot. Does that make sense? So let's just round off the number to 30. 30 people times $30. That's $900 a class. I do 5 classes a day. That's $4,500. Chimes at $4,500 by 7 days a week. Now what are we at? Right? 30,000. Times that by 4 weeks. There's your 120,000. That becomes $1 million school, sir. Everybody with me on that? Right? If I'm rounding it off, right? So think about that, please. Real estate's important. So I would recommend don't double it and keep your once a week at a premium dollar. So what that mat space they're taking up is not going to be freaking $5 a class. That's not a good day. Simply not a good day. Not a good day. Not a good day. All right, so we're getting close to the end of the show. Put your questions in there, please, and make sure that you're sharing this because we're giving away a 30-minute call with who? Me. And ask James, ask Marco, ask Ask anybody that has spent time with me on the phone. It is an amazing experience. Amazing, amazing. Get signed up for It's Time Live. I'm so excited about this because I know we're going to be able to do this event live. I truly, truly believe that with all my heart. Vaccines, somebody said the other day, California is 40% vaccinated. Crazy, right? Crazy. Things are opening up here in San Mateo County. We're at an orange tier, but technically, folks, we could be at the yellow tier. But the rule is you can't skip a tier, and whatever tier you're at, you have to stay there for 3 weeks. So potentially we could be at 50% by middle of April. That's full capacity for us, right? With social distancing, Letitia, doing that. So that's powerful. That's powerful. So keep putting your questions in. Please get signed up. Get signed up. Adam, it'd be great to finally meet you in person, sir, and have you out here for It's Time. Get signed up, people, because I know those 20 spots, they're going to go fast. And plus Sam's coming. Sam's coming. Sam on. I mean, I can't tell you, him and I have had conversations. What an amazing, gentle, great soul. And I'm all about that. I want to hang out with quality people. That's important to me. I want to love people. That's important to me. Anybody that can say I'm their friend knows I love you. That's what I do, right? That's just what I do. Any other questions? Go ahead and put them in there. As I love your questions, let me not forget to say thank you also to Kids Love Life Skills, right? Get ready because we're revolutionizing that. I have a great partnership with Letitia and Ben, right? Craps. They're now part of Kids Love Life Skills. They have a stake in it. And Marco and Amy Mazzola and Chris Yango. I'm huge on that. If anybody knows me that intimately, you know that. So they now have a profit sharing in that company with me, and they're putting their sweat equity into it and growing it. And that's powerful. I think it's very important that we take care of our teams in every way we possibly can. And so think about that. If you're not doing that, you need to do that, right? Otherwise, good team members are going to leave. Oh, you will. You will, Adam. Definitely. And we have that posted. That link is everywhere. So just click on that link. It's every one of my pages to get signed up for It's Time Live Change. November 13th through 16th. Where? San Francisco, California. So, okay, any burning desires, put it in. We still got about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Let me take a deep breath, man. That was badass today, wasn't it? Let's see. Let me look at this question. I always love to see what Lorenzo's got to say. Oh, yeah. I saw this one. How would you respond to this? I had this one lady walking yesterday. Her kid was decked out in Nikes. I told her my prices and she was immediately insulted. She said, "Why do I have to wear your uniform when I can get my own thing on Amazon? The same thing on Amazon for the same thing. I don't understand why I have to wear your symbol." Well, I think long story short on that one, Lorenzo, they're not a good fit for your business, right? My mama used to say this, and this is a little derogatory, but I'm going to say this, okay? I want to say this. You can't change stupid. You can't. You can't change her mindset. Her priorities are her priorities. It's not for you to judge her or change that. Let her be. Just simply say, "Ma'am, this is our policy of our school," right? It's our uniform. We're a team. We all wear the same uniform because our logo represents a team. No difference than the Las Vegas Raiders, right? Why do they have the Las Vegas Raiders thing on them? Why do you wear a Nike brand, right? The logo represents the brand. And Ageless Martial Arts is Ageless Martial Arts. That's cool, right? That's cool. So, I mean, that question is what it is. It's not something I would even spend time with. Cool. I hope I served everybody well today. Where was the time? I know, man, the time's gone, right? It's gone. It's gone. So I hope you shared this with everybody. I hope you shared it with everybody. And our today's winner is, who's the winner of today? Bow. Bow. You get 30 minutes with me, sir. Love you, Bow. Me and Bow had some noodles when I spoke at Harvard and we hung out. Bow's another good man. And I'd love to spend 30 minutes on the phone with you, Bow. Everybody give Bow some love. Yeah, that noodles, they were great. And it was so nice because, Bao bought me lunch and I thought that was very kind. And it was cool. Conrad, I'm considering. Yeah, the Oakland Raiders are still, yeah, they're still the Oakland Raiders, right? Oakland, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, they are. And Oakland Raiders are diehard fans. Congratulate Bow, everybody. I'm considering adding the 1 day a week program to our memberships, but I'm concerned about my current 2 day a week people converting. Okay, so Conrad, that's a real good one. But you know what, sir? Look at it this way. When soccer or baseball rolls around and sports start opening up, and somebody posted that, Sean Lee said that, we got to look out for that. By summertime, a lot of these stir crazy people right now, they're running into martial arts schools because a lot of these activities still aren't there. There's still no outdoor soccer, baseball, etc. And as soon as they get the green light, we're going to see this surgence of people into our school go. The tide ebbs and flows, right? It simply does. It simply does. There's an ebb and there's a flow. You can't change that. You can't stop that. That's never going to be different. It simply will not, folks. It will not. So I think what we should be doing is staying the course, investing in relationships. Because he said that, man, we're seeing 20 contracts, right? They're a contract school. He says, be ready though. Come June, when things are open and people can go on vacations again and people can go do outdoor sports, you're going to see this. Yeah, we very well may. We very well may. But if you've really invested in those relationships, you've made the effort to solidify them and cultivate them and do that, I think you have a better chance of retaining your students and losing them. So, Conrad, guess what? During the summer, if you have virtual in place, they won't put their membership on hold. They'll simply take their classes remotely. Guess what? If they're going to start doing soccer, they're going to downgrade to once a week. Be glad you have once a week then versus that person who's twice a week going, we have to stop. We do soccer for the next 3 months. And if you have a big enough flexible schedule, Conrad, guess what? Well, I'm doing soccer on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Well, guess what? We have a class for you Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. One of them got to fit your schedule. Oh, well, I guess so. And guess what? You can go to once a week. And all of this has really come out of serving people at a higher level. That's all this is about. If I always think about me, what's in it for me? What do I get out of this? How do I get over? What's my angle? That's so ghetto. That's what I grew up with. And nobody I saw, majority in the ghetto, are any better off today as they were when we were growing up. Most of my ghetto friends are still on the corner of 24th and Mission, dealing dime bags of weed, taking welfare checks from 4 different baby mamas. And that's as stereotype as I'm going to get. And I can say that because I grew up in it. I grew up in it, right? I grew up in it. That's what I grew up in. But every one of us that saw, if I was a value-based person, if I served the community, if I did my best to be my best version, we all got out of there. A lot of us did. But there are still those people who live with that mindset. And it is a mindset. I use ghetto for the lack of better word because that's what we called it growing up. It's an impoverished mindset. It's not reserved for anybody. Rich, poor, ethnicity makes no difference. An impoverished mindset is an impoverished mindset. And that mindset lives and dies by, how do I get over? What's in it for me? And you will never be successful that way. Ever, ever, ever. So, why we don't do contracts. So why we do once a week. So why did we add more belts when we don't have belt testing fees? I didn't add more belt testing fees to make more money. We added more belts to help the journey be a better Disney experience and make it more manageable. Does that make sense? And if you can do that, that's faith. That's hope. Especially through this pandemic, everybody's nickel and diming it. Everybody. And I think that's very detrimental to any of our growth as individuals. So take that one to heart. Really think about that, especially as we're starting to move, Conrad, as we're starting to come out of this pandemic, there'll be a different set of challenges. And there will be. There will be those people now that's when there's a minute vacation opens up, people gone because they haven't been on vacation in almost 2 years. Think about that. So what are you going to do during the summer? I hope you have virtual, strong, tight, and right. I hope you tap into those summer kids. We do it every summer. 3 months for really inexpensive. 3 months at $99 a month. 3 months. Boom, boom, boom. For like $299 plus a uniform. Because you have that group of people that can't afford to go on vacation this summer. and they'll enjoy martial arts for 3 months. And some of them don't come back because they can't afford your regular price. But every summer they come back. We get kids who just come to camp only for camp and never sign up for martial arts. There's different strokes for different folks. And if you make those available instead of trying to center on everything to, I got to get you into my black belt club. Oh, you're here for camp? No, you want to be in my black belt club. Oh, you're here for a birthday party? No, you want to be in my black belt club. If we stop that and just serve people out of the need of serving, the relationships and the culture in the tribe will change. You with me? Who's with me? Raise your hand. All right. So I'm going to wrap this big dog up, folks. I'm hungry. I want to go fill my belly. I want to say I am Brannon Beliso. Thank you to everybody for the input sharing today, being here, contributing your questions, just loving me, my sponsors, my studio, my studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. I say market muscles because I want to end with this. Stephen Reinstein and I had a long conversation the other day, and I love Stephen, and he used to be one of our sponsors. What a good soul. Another good soul. Stephen Reinstein's up and up. So even though I have my own web designer with Chris Shango and we design our own websites, I always recommend Stephen Reinstein. I don't want to be in the website business. I have a website designer because I need to learn. What does it mean, SEO? How do I code on the back end? How about this? I need that type of creativity. If you can afford to do that, do it, because that's one more feather in your cap. That's one thing you need to control. You need to control that, and you need to know how to do that. I think that's real crucial. Cool? All right, we all good? Everybody give me some love. I need some love over there. Give me some love, Adam. Everybody, Conrad, Jeremy. Where you at, Pamela? Everybody. James, Jim, Sensei Mish, Virginia, Marco, Jason, Tisha, everybody. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, folks, I am Brannon Beliso. Thank you so much. Success never sleeps. We'll see you next week. It's time group mentoring. I'll see you next week as well. Until we talk again, please go out there. Live your best life.